fucking buzzkill.
We're gonna get you in
I
one.
am being a buzzkill right now. Or as others
no.
call it, a realist. We are killing ourselves. Let's enjoy it.
Yeah.
All right, here.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that the amount of stress that it, it's just not making your life a nightmare.
Sure.
Like, I think actually makes. They say that our lifespan is going to go down from COVID, not from getting COVID, but from stressing out about
I heard
COVID.
the same thing.
Like heart disease at 65.
Right. And all these kids are fucked
What,
up because now they have
huge
less social
streamer drama?
skills and yada
Is that
yada.
your title?
So
I do see kids in mass. And I
don't
get
know, I've been
sad.
doing that one
for a
they're
little while.
constantly, Like they're
Well,
missing out
it's
on.
great news that you don't get
kinda my
happy
gimmick.
or a boner.
Kind of funny. That is kind
I
of
didn't say anything about a boner.
Yeah, I would hope
But,
so. But also, like, maybe they're preparing for the life they're gonna have.
Yeah.
Well,
Let's
You know
go.
what
good point.
True.
Maybe they'll just be,
Hopefully
sex
it just
parties
keep-
constantly. I don't know.
Well, you gotta have a balance.
Yeah.
You know, that's true. Look
Like-
at Cosby. You know, America's Dad, sweater, pull your pants up, and then the other thing.
That's Cosby's problem. He never found a balance.
No, he
between the
had a
rights.
Have
balance.
you seen the
Yes,
video of him
baby is
leaving the
my
courthouse
title.
when he does the Fat Albert impression?
I have. It's a classic.
I haven't seen that.
It's fun.
Can we pull that?
It is bone chilling.
He still got it.
Because it's more like what goes into the thought of deciding whether he's going to do it or not is
I heard he booked the role of a sexy plane after this.
Okay.
Still got the voice down. This guy got a
What?
great cartoon.
That's amazing.
what happened in his mind right there.
Yeah. Well, that's up there with the Kevin Spacey video. Remember that one?
But was that a comic bombing who couldn't bomb?
I wouldn't call that a bomb.
I just mean it like he couldn't walk by without making.
Yes, yeah, that's a comic.
You know what I mean? That's
think
like
it's something.
at the end of the day, you're like, my man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Funny till the end.
And he kept it clean.
Yes, and,
Still a clean joke.
And gave.
Yeah.
Gave hard. Like,
Yeah.
The L4 got involved.
That's good. The good thing about being a comic is Weinstein didn't have a moment like that. He just kind of sunk.
Yeah.
As a comic, you get that one last laugh.
Yes.
Point. Good point.
And it's so, it actually kind of like broke my heart in this weird way, or felt kind of poignant, because it's like everyone, I don't know, we can always pretend we're okay.
Uh-huh.
And there's something kind of private about, I don't know, there's something kind of like cool, really lonely about it. But I don't
It's
know.
a force field. You have this defense mechanism at the end of the day. But I love the idea of him on the trial on the stand, like, ooh, I'm gonna do that. Do
The
that.
fact that everyone's so mad at him, and he's like, how do I make all these people that already hate
Yes.
me laugh?
Yes, exactly.
Like, I don't even care that you hate me. I still want to make you laugh.
Right.
So that's all I know.
Yeah, it's kind of brilliant.
He turned around.
He did. Well, I don't know
What's
about
better
that.
than making someone that hates you laugh?
That is
Almost
nice.
better than
Okay.
someone who likes you.
Yeah. One time I got my mom to laugh.
There is something that you're right. I mean, it's like it's just human nature. If you're hanging out with someone, you're like, I don't think this person likes me, and you get them to laugh.
That's
there is
nice.
something about
The
that.
involuntary thing. It's wild that our default is that people would pretend.
Isn't that weird?
But we do that. Because we're the
Yeah.
ones guilty of
Alright.
it. Like, people come
Yeah,
to us,
good
they're like, I saw this thing happen. They're like, that's funny, man.
Good
Yeah.
point.
We're the ones that fake it the majority of the time.
But what about the guy in the front row doing this shit? And you're like, you showed up, you bought a ticket. Why are you mad at me?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
that might just be them. That just might be how they are. You know?
Yeah, maybe.
I remember there was a comic who passed away, William Stevenson. He was like the grumpiest guy on the planet. I loved him, but he was never in a good mood. And if you got him to laugh, it like, made your night.
That was nice.
You know,
Okay.
it was something,
Huge.
something about people like that who are that.
Huge. Now we have a.
You know you really earned that laugh.
we have a
Broke
whole
out of this like grumpy
Yeah.
funk.
You
Yeah.
know the only thing about that I feel like I have to contribute about the person in the front row, the guy that's like just staring, you won't laugh. Number one, I'll take anything above the girl who thinks you need a backup dancer or like to repeat your
Oh, yeah,
I went
yeah.
down the street. Where'd you go? Down the street? Cool. Yeah, like girl that's like,
All right.
so I'm going through
Damn,
breakup.
I
Oh,
wish you
girl,
could
oh, I'm so sorry. Like,
Yeah.
any-
Preach.
anything's better than that.
How about this guy? They don't laugh. They don't clap. They do this.
Or by the way, true.
Oh.
Like, yeah, bitch, I know.
Oh, it's worked out. Leave me alone. There you go.
And
That guy's okay.
and
guy,
also,
okay.
I think a lot of people get nervous when they're in the front row,
Yes.
and they're scared. And I never knew that until truly a couple days ago, I was at the Comedy Store, and it was a guy that was sitting alone, and he like wasn't laughing hard enough for everyone else really was, and I could only think about him, and like, I had to understand why.
Yeah.
He agreed with me that the jokes weren't that good. Everyone thought they were better than they were. And I was like, hey, what's your deal? And he just looked at me and he was just like, I'm nervous.
Wow.
He just said it.
Damn.
Whereas I feel like a couple years ago, I'd be like, nothing. He just was like, said his feelings. I was like, of course you are.
Yeah.
Trained ninjas are coming at you
Exactly.
with the intention of embarrassing you in front of a crowd.
Totally, and we're the only art form, or whatever you want to call it, that people don't want the front row. Every music show, I got the best tickets, I'm in the front for this band, or whatever. Broadway
I
show.
had at a gig recently. There was like an old guy who was like, I don't want to sit in the front. The guy at the door was like, no one's gonna make fun. He was like, please, I don't. He's like, no one's gonna say anything. The second he sits down, the host goes, look at this old motherfucker. Out of the gate.
It's not even original.
I know. Look how old this
Like
guy
Bill
is.
Damn old.
I was at the Ice House once, and this is, I don't know what was going on with this night, but there was definitely like some laziness going on in comedy. I don't know. I think it was just because there was like, remember when you were always doing showcases and always, whatever. People
Again, it's called Los Angeles.
yeah.
All right, that was the last
City
one.
of Angels. And for whatever reason, out of Pasadena, I think it was before sort of comics like us were really working out there. It was kind of like a random group that wasn't really in the comedy store in the improv circuit. And probably more people that did like, I don't know, like, I was gonna say ships, casinos, and like that kind of stuff.
A little hackier.
Yeah, or just whatever. But
Roadier.
I was like the fourth or fifth person on, and I'm like sitting watching the person in front of me, and the comic goes, "Hey, so where are you from?" A guy stood up in the middle of the audience and went, "He's from Dallas, he's from Tampa, he's from Pasadena. Can you please just tell some jokes?"
I kind of respect that.
Damn.
It was like, that's like one of those moments you witness in your life that changes you
Yes.
forever.
I'll never do that again.
That's when he gets on stage, he pushes you out of the way. He's like, I got this. Let me do it. I'm the comedian now.
Hey.
Yeah.
Like forever changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because no comic watches the other comic. So then you go up there and you go, I'll do some crowd work.
Yeah.
It's always good to watch.
Always.
I know we all avoid watching comedy because you don't want to absorb shit, you don't want to repeat shit, but like it is good to watch the comic before you just to see the room.
Yeah.
Being an audience member and watching crowd work, unless it's like your hero
2-8.
and like
This is gonna be
wildly
pretty fucking
just special for
If you're headlining the show and doing crowd work, it's very different than being on a showcase and doing crowd work.
100%. It was
Yeah.
people in a showcase, and
Over
everyone's
and
just like,
over and
yeah,
over.
why do I have to hear about where that like?
Yeah.
It's so insane when you think about
Yeah,
how
it really
self-indulgent
is.
it is.
Yes, make me laugh. I bought a ticket. I want to hear some ideas, some jokes, and you're just like, look at this fucking shirt on the homo.
Psychotic.
I used to
Yeah.
host at Caroline's. You know, I would host there, and you did too. And we would,
Oh, yeah.
And I always avoided crowd work. For me, crowd work was like, I'll do it if I have to, but I would open with jokes, and if the jokes weren't hidden, I'd talk a little to weave into the jokes. But I'm like, I'm the point guard here. I'm setting up the show. It's not
Yeah.
my job to do crowd work.
Not a lot of comics think like that, and that's why you two are you, because I see so many super talented people that just didn't get what I think they wanted because they were really funny at crowd work. Like,
Right.
if you're really good at it, it's hard to follow your own crowd work with
Yeah, that's
jokes
true.
sometimes. And
That's
you're,
true.
oh, another one.
The worst one I ever saw was, this is at the Cellar. I won't say who it is.
Oh, heck, oh.
But it was a lot of crowd work. He was doing well. He was killing. But he looked at a guy who wasn't laughing, and he goes, "What's your problem, man?" And he goes, "I'm just waiting for material."
Oh.
And the guy just sucked. He was crushed because it just cut him to the core, and he wasn't trying to be mean.
But here's the other thing I'll say.
That's funny.
Okay, do you feel there was material that just felt like it wasn't, or did it feel like it was just like super self-indulgent?
It felt pretty crowd. This
Okay.
shirt, I'll talk slower. Where you
Yeah,
from?
yeah,
Jersey.
yeah,
You know.
okay.
When it's great crowd work, it can be magical.
That's
Because
true.
It is like, have you
Especially
seen
if
like?
it's someone you know has already proven that they're great writers,
yes,
and you're like,
exactly.
oh, what? Like the first time I saw Daniel Tosh do crowd work,
Ooh.
I had like a different level just of respect for him because it's like his jokes were so tight or whatever, and I kind of, not that that's a bad thing, that's what I do too, but I remember seeing him do crowd work. It's like, it's even cooler
Yeah, 'cause he's a great
Knowing-
writer.
knowing
That's
that you
true.
could do it the shortcut.
Todd Barry's a great example. I mean, we
Yeah.
always talk about like great, crowd work, but Todd is great material, and then you see him do crowd work, and you're like, oh, it's in the rhythm of your act. This is like just watching your act.
He
Right.
did a whole tour that was crowd work,
That's
right?
right.
It was
The whole
special.
special, yeah.
Did you ever see the joke he used to do about Brad Pitt? So
Classic,
funny.
yeah.
It is-
It's in his presents, right?
Yes.
Oh,
You've seen that.
Dry to the bone, dry to the bone.
Yeah.
Hanging off the bone.
Todd is a classic. Yeah.
Hanging off the bone, I think it's called.
What's going on with Tosh? He's like one of my favorites. He's like this most mysterious comedian.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Jamie. This is
he
delicious.
is kind of mysterious, isn't he? He
That's so good. The cucumber makes this, by the way. Holy shit.
it's fresh. It's like a margarita, but not too sugary.
I love
Yeah,
it.
Right? You put a little mint in it. It's kind of like. I don't know.
I went
Is
the
there-
wrong
close
one.
with Daniel
Like I
I'm
didn't
not
back
close with
up.
Daniel
because
Tosh.
no
Like,
one
I know him.
is.
I know
measured
one
up there.
is. I know him from back
I thought
in the
Todd Glass was
Pretty
close. I
close.
thought someone
I'm
like.
gonna have a goal
like
here for
somewhere-
Swartzen, maybe. Sarah Tiana.
Oh, okay.
I think
Elevator.
Candace Thompson maybe would go on the road with him. But yeah, I do know Sarah Tiana opens for him. And she's like so normal and wonderful. Like he can't.
Sarah Tiana during the roast battle once said to me, "I laugh at my own jokes, and that it makes sense because it looks like my eyebrows are high-fiving."
That's fun.
That's pretty good.
Eyebrows.
I am so into just savage insults right now
Yeah.
that aren't even too well thought out.
Yeah.
Those are called slurs.
The only way I can count.
Like I said, gold
Like
plus
looking
5.
through this was a while ago, like some Instagram like comment or something, and someone just wrote like, "Fuck you, you cancer hooker,"
Whoa.
Trippy Gamer, what's up, buddy?
and I literally like laughed out loud.
That's
I
good.
just,
Throwing words together.
I
That's a
just-
1-2.
but it's just like an unexpected pairing. Of,
Yeah.
like, it's so mean that it's not.
Right, right.
Swartzen was on my podcast like a couple months ago, and he was telling a story about Maron, which is so funny. He tells a story about how, you know, like when you do Mark Maron's podcast, like he always opens with how much he hates you.
Yeah.
And he was like, I knew that, you know, that happens to most people, but like we were like roommates, we've been like so close for like 20 years, like we lived together. And he goes on Maron's podcast, and Maron opens with like, I've always fucking hated you, man. And Swartzen's like, what?
What a piece of shit.
All those
That's
times
fucking
we
hilarious.
lived to like years.
Oh, thank you.
Like years, we lived like roommates. I always fucking hated you. Like it was this hilarious story, and
Damn.
I was just so excited to hear more. That I was like, well, and then, and I interrupted him and was like, and then did you? And he was like, if you would let me finish. And then I was like, sorry, you're just taking forever. And he goes, sorry, I'm not an Adderall mannequin.
Oh,
Damn.
that's great.
That's a fucking hilarious
Maron had
insult.
a bit I loved where he
what the
it goes back
fuck?
to like we were talking about the crowd and just assuming they hate us,
minus
and he had a
22.
bit.
I
I
think
think it's
it's
like one of his
splits,
first
yeah.
albums where he saw this guy, some biker guy, just like looking at him angry during he's killing for everyone, but this one biker looking guy hates him.
Yeah.
Like, this guy fucking hates Jews. Like he's an anti-Semite. I know in his head he's like, "Fuck you, Jew boy." And then he walks up to him after the show, and the guy's wife is like, "Oh, you were so funny." And the guy, he goes, "Yeah, what do you think?" And the guy's like, "Great show." And he goes, "Shit, that means that guy lives in my head."
Oh,
That's such a relatable
heavy.
bit.
That's deep.
It
Well,
is
that's
deep.
all this guy is with the arms crossed. That's you.
Yeah.
You just see
It's a
yourself.
mirror. Yeah, it's a
mirror.
Rorschach test. It really is.
I know. It
really
validates
is.
every thought.
It's the insecure narcissism of like, I'm a piece of shit in the center of the universe.
I heard you on Maron though. I don't think he wasn't mean to you.
This could be a really good run, actually.
Okay.
Nah.
No, I'm joking. No, it's Maron has this ability. And that was also so long ago
Yeah.
that I'm sure I was not articulate or I was probably scared or blabbing. But Maron has the ability to kind of like just destroy you with something it's devastating.
Yeah.
But not ostensibly hurtful to someone that's not in comedy.
Ah, yes.
So,
It's like a pinprick.
but only comedians would get how mean it is.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
He insulted me opening for him. I was opening from like probably 11 or 12 years ago, and I remember I wasn't doing great on one of the shows, and I busted out some like offensive jokes to try to like be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
And we were in the car riding back, and I was saying like, "I did that because I wasn't getting them, and that's why I did that." And he goes, "I know what you were doing." Fucking killed me. just him saying, "I know what you were doing."
looking pretty good.
Like I was trying to explain it, and he just was like,
oh,
That
that
stings.
is so
He
Maron.
also called me a hide the Jew. He's like, "You don't address that you're a Jew on stage enough."
I don't get what do you got to do? Go up there with a yarmulke?
It's obvious. Got it.
No, please.
But then I saw him
You
years later in
stink, you
Montreal, and I
dude.
said,
Thank you,
I
Jesus
mentioned it more on stage now because of you, and he goes, "I got you."
He lives in your head. So Maron, no, I did his show, and we were talking about comedy, and he was like, "So you write
This could be
like,
good.
jokes."
This could be good.
I hate that shit.
You know what I mean? This was also 10 years ago when I think I was definitely more
Punchy, like set up
it
punch.
was yes, there was no fat, and it was all about showcasing the joke.
Yeah.
You know, and being a woman who's physical was kind of annoying to people. Like it was hard to have too much energy, so I think I was just trying to like be less shrill or something. But yeah, he was like, so you like write jokes?
Yeah.
And
That's it.
It's just like, oh, it's like
That's what he does too, I
it's like,
think.
yes,
That's what we're all
Mark,
doing.
I try to be funny. Like Geraldo on Colin with
Yeah, exactly.
on
Tough Crowd.
Like, yes, I am here to make people laugh.
Right. I know. I did the
Just
work.
do one more. That'd be
Sorry,
really nice.
just like puns fall out of everyone else's mouths perfectly.
Well, in the early WTF days, like, it was scary to listen to it. Because he would be really mean.
That was the whole show. Was just that tension.
Yes.
That was crazy. The
Mencia.
Carlos.
Yes,
When he did
hold on.
part 2 with Mencia, where it's like, he's like, I wasn't mean enough. I'm going back for the second round. And I was like, holy shit.
So uncomfortable.
Well,
and comedians are
Not
like,
that Carlos didn't deserve it.
Yeah, exactly.
Driving to Los Feliz to sit in his garage to get our spanking.
I know. Then I compliment his house to tell it back. I'm like, oh, that's a nice painting there.
Has anyone showed up in bondage? That should be what you
I was so fucking allergic to his cats everywhere. I'm like just itching, swelling. He's like, did you fuck up your face
this
with
feeling is
surgery?
why
I'm
you
like,
do the
I'm
runs,
swelling
boys.
From your 900 fucking cats. Like, it's so weird.
Oh,
When
no.
Comedians.
do. He's giving you an allergic reaction and negging you.
Yeah. Boomer.
I do love the podcast, by the way.
I do too.
My mom listens.
Proud to be on it.
My mom will call me and be like, I just listened to a Mark Maron podcast, and I'm like, what do you think? She's like, he's just so neurotic and so unbearable. I am like, and she goes, and he's great.
Yeah, it's addictive. It's addictive. I mean, Orny Adams was on recently.
That was just gonna
and
say
it
that.
was
It was like an old M.
riveting. It was riveting.
It was a great one.
I gotta listen to that
But
one.
I love, I
can
love
do
an
it.
insult where
I can
someone
PB
doesn't
right
know
now.
It's an insult. Like,
Good, hit the throws.
Jeremy Piven was on a show recently at the Comedy Store, and Mark Maron went after him. and Keep it going for the actor.
Oh,
Jesus
See, now there's a part
Please?
of it that's funny, but I'm also like, how come you get to be mean? Like, can we be mean to you? Because if we're mean to him, it turns into a whole thing.
Yeah?
He fights back,
Dude, that's
he
a
yells at you,
fucking
and I'm like,
PB,
I'm
buddy.
doing what you do.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
16 star.
I think the business was mean. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't get that.
That's a fucking
Yeah.
16-star
I think
PB,
that
buddy.
I think that if
Where
we-
the
if-
fuck
I
did
think
that come
all
from?
comedians,
Yeah.
I think we're fair for the most part with each other.
1726,
You
new
know, 'cause if
16-star
we're
time
comedians,
on the
we
official
so if
ROM.
a comedian-
There
if
it
someone's
is.
If we're like play fighting with each other, sparring with each other.
Any
someone really
viewers?
gets their feelings
Anyone
hurt, it's
watching
either
this
you-
shit?
I agree with it, or it
Yeah.
just wasn't funny enough.
Right.
There it
I
is.
think if you're only sparring with people that are at
There it
the
is
same
right
level
there,
of your
dude.
intelligence that you actually respect, so it doesn't get. Am I
I see.
making
It's
sense?
gotta be tit
Fuck
for
yes.
tat.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I put him up here. He's a guy.
Fuck
When I
yes,
started, he was a big dude.
Big influence for both of us. For
Big
sure.
influence, big fan.
Yeah.
But
Fuck
then
yes.
it's like
We're in this
the
double
shitting
jump.
on is fine. I'm all for ball busting,
No,
but
it
he's
is
one of those guys when you do it back,
5'5".
all hell breaks loose, and I'm like,
Well,
I'm
that's
just
pretty
doing
We're
what you
different
do.
generations. I mean, I do think there's a thing like when you did this podcast, I listened to you on him. He wasn't mean to you. I think that when there's a generation removed
That's
with him,
true.
it's
That's
different than
true.
when it's someone he came up
There
with.
it
Yeah.
That's when those were the people he's mean to, I
There's the
think.
real
Yeah.
one.
So I do think there is like.
It's like,
some-
what now, bitch?
Right.
It's kind of like that in a way. Which, by the way, I mean, think about it. Like, if that dynamic is any, because it's like he was the
where's
one that
that
was sort of too edgy for network, or not sort of doing the bullshit required to sanitize himself, or not the, whatever, the cartoon, like, sick, perfect paragon of, like,
Right.
whatever.
Here's the
And
proof
then all of a sudden, sitcoms start dying, and then he's doing what everyone else thinks is a plan B.